Ladies and gentlemen, in celebration of this, the last All-Star game of the 20th century, we now present the greatest collection of baseball talent ever gathered on one ballpark field. Ladies and gentlemen, your all-century team
greats, two past commissioners, Carlton Fisk, Tom Seaver, 35,000 rabid fans, George Brett. Tonight, the unending thread of baseball of the 20th century, Raleigh Fingers, Joe Morgan. That thread tied off neatly in what amounts to an all-time All-Star game. Good evening from Fenway Park as the chills run through every body in this house. This is the Blockbuster All-Star pregame show alongside Steve Lyons. I'm Keith Olbermann, and we are now multiplying it by many times. A great game in a big place to have it with an epic moment here.
And welcome back to Fenway Park. Welcome back to a very special Midsummer Classic. I'm Joe Buck, joined by my partners Tim McCarver and Bob Brentley. We'll get to our game tonight in just a moment, but right now to introduce some of the all-century baseball stars to you, we take you now down to Academy Award-winning actor, director, and baseball fan, Kevin Costner.
I'm honored to be a part of this great gathering. Together, these players represent the most talent ever assembled on a baseball field. And now, our all-century pitchers are a four-time Cy Young Award winner, the all-time strikeout king among left-handed pitchers, Steve Carlton. He is the only five-time Cy Young Award winner, and he struck out 20 batters in a game on two separate occasions. Roger Clemens. One of the game's most dominant closers. He won both the Cy Young and MVP awards in 1990. Dennis Eckersley. He pitched his first major league game at 17 and was the hardest throwing pitcher of his generation. Bob Feller. The first modern-day relief ace who saved 6 World Series games for the Oakland A's in the early 1970s. Raleigh Fingers. He exemplified competitiveness and consistency and won 7 straight World Series games for the St. Louis Cardinals. Bob Gibson. He won more games in the 1960s than any other pitcher and is the pride of the Dominican Republic. Juan Marichal. He led the Philadelphia Phillies to the 1950 pennant and was the ace of their staff for more than a decade. Robin Roberts. He was the ace of the 1969 world champion Miracle Mets. 3-time Cy Young Award winner Tom Seaver. He won 20 or more games 13 times and is the winningest left-handed pitcher in baseball history. Warren Spahn. And now our all-century catcher is a hero to Red Sox fans for his dramatic home run in the 1975 World Series. He holds the all-time record for games caught. Carlton Fisk. The all-century first baseman. He was the epitome of raw power, and he hit more home runs than any American League player in history except Babe Ruth. Harmon Killebrew. one of the game's most consistent switch hitters. He is one of only 3 players with more than 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. Eddie Murray. The all-century second baseman is this all-time record holder for home runs and games played at second base. Won back-to-back MVP awards in 1975 and 1976 as a member of the Cincinnati's Big Red Machine. Joe Morgan. The all-century third baseman here tonight, the only player in Major League history to win batting titles in 3 decades. He led the Kansas City Royals to their only World Series championship in 1985. 1999 Hall of Fame inductee, George Brett. This 1993 World Series MVP ranks 8th on the all-time hit list and is the only player in World Series history to have 5 hits in a game. Paul Molitor. A clutch hitter who set the modern-day standard for defensive excellence by which all third basemen are judged. 16-time Gold Glove winner, Brooks Robinson. He possessed an unprecedented combination of power and defensive skill and speed that made him one of the game's all-time greatest third basemen. 3-time MVP and 10-time Gold Glove winner, Mike Schmidt. And now our all-century shortstop. He delighted Cub fans with his 512 home runs, steady fielding, and cheerful approach to the game. 2-time most valuable player, Ernie Banks. Considered the greatest defensive shortstop of all time. This fan favorite won 13 Gold Gloves, 12-time elected All-Star Ozzie Smith. He collected more hits in the 1980s than any other player and won the most valuable player at 2 different positions. 1999 Hall of Fame inductee, Robin Yount. Our all-century outfielders are an exceptional all-around player. He was a 24-time All-Star who became baseball's all-time home run king 25 years ago this season, Hank Aaron. A devastating force on the base paths. He was the best base stealer of his time and one of the greatest in history. Lou Brock. He redefined the role of the leadoff hitter and is the only player in history with more than 1,000 career stolen bases. Ricky Henderson. Known as Mr. October for his World Series heroics in New York and Oakland, he was one of baseball's premier power hitters and clutch players. Reggie Jackson. This 10-time Gold Glove winner, an 18-time All-Star from the Detroit Tigers, was one of the most durable and consistent players of his time. Al Kaline. He led the National League in home runs in his 7 of his 10 Major League seasons, and his home run ratio is second only to Babe Ruth. Ralph Kiner. The Giants say hey kiss. He played in 24 All-Star games, 4 World Series, and he won 11 Gold Gloves for his electrifying play in center field. Willie Mays. This 3-time Most Valuable Player and 24-time All-Star for the St. Louis Cardinals was among the greatest all-around offensive players of the 1940s and 50s. Stan, the man, Musial. The only man ever to be named Most Valuable Player in both leagues. He won the Triple Crown in 1966 and went on to manage the Indians, Giants, and Orioles. Frank Robinson. He was the last player to win the Triple Crown, and he is the only American League player with more than 3,000 hits and 400 home runs. Red Sox legend, Carl Yastrzemski. Ladies and gentlemen, your all-century players.
These players helped make the game. This game helped make these men. Smiling like little leaguers on a special night here in Boston. One very special introduction to come. But right now, let's go to public address announcer Ed Brickley.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now let's meet the 1999 National and American League All-Stars.
While the latest edition of All-Stars gathers on the baselines, while they get ready, we take you down to another member of our broadcast team, Tom Brenneman, standing by with the Commissioner of Baseball, Bud Selig.
Joe, thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the coaches and reserves from the National League All-Stars. The coaches are from the Chicago Cubs, their manager, Jim Riggleman. From the Cincinnati Reds, their manager, Jack McKeon. And now the National League Reserves. From the Arizona Diamondbacks, outfielder, Luis Gonzalez. And pitcher, Randy Johnson. From the Atlanta Braves, outfielder Brian Jordan and pitcher Kevin Millwood. From the Cincinnati Reds, First baseman, Sean Casey. And pitcher, Scott Williamson. From the Florida Marlins, shortstop, Alex Gonzalez. From the Houston Astros, pitcher, Mike Hampton. Pitcher, Billy Wagner. And pitcher, Jose Lima. From the Los Angeles Dodgers, outfielder, Gary Sheffield. From the Milwaukee Brewers, catcher, Dave Nilsson. From the Montreal Expos, outfielder, Vladimir Guerrero. From the Philadelphia Phillies, catcher, Mike Lieberthal. And pitcher, Paul Bird. From the Pittsburgh Pirates, third baseman, Ed Sprague. From the St. Louis Cardinals, pitcher, Kent Bottenfield. From the San Diego Padres, elected to start but unable to play due to injury, outfielder and all-century player, Tony Gwynn. Pitcher, Andy Ashby. And pitcher, Trevor Hoffman. And from the San Francisco Giants, second baseman, Jeff Kent. And now, let's meet the coaches and reserves from the American League All-Stars. The coaches are from the Boston Red Sox, their manager, Jimmy Williams. And from the Chicago White Sox, their manager, Jerry Manuel. And now, the American League All-Star Reserves. From the Anaheim Angels, pitcher, Troy Percival. From the Baltimore Orioles, outfielder, Harold Baines. Outfielder, B.J. Surhoff. And pitcher, Mike Mussina. And from the Boston Red Sox, second baseman, Jose Offerman. And from the Chicago White Sox, outfielder, Maglio Ordonez. From the Cleveland Indians, shortstop, Omar Vizquel. And pitcher, Charles Nagy. From the Detroit Tigers, catcher, Brad Osmus. From the Kansas City Royals, Pitcher, Jose Rosado. From the Minnesota Twins, infielder, Ron Coomer. From the New York Yankees, shortstop, Derek Jeter. Pitcher, David Cone. And outfielder, Bernie Williams. From the Oakland Athletics, first baseman, John Jaha. And from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, pitcher, Roberto Hernandez. From the Texas Rangers, pitcher John Wetland. And pitcher Jeff Zimmerman. And from the Toronto Blue Jays, third baseman Tony Fernandez. And outfielder Sean Green. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the manager and starting lineup for the National League. From the San Diego Padres, manager Bruce Bochy. Batting first, playing shortstop, from the Cincinnati Reds, Barry Larkin. Batting second, playing right field, from the Colorado Rockies, Larry Walker. Batting third, playing center field, from the Chicago Cubs, Sammy Sosa. Batting fourth, playing first base, an all-century player from the St. Louis Cardinals, Mark McGwire. Batting fifth, playing third base, from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Matt Williams. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, from the Houston Astros, Jeff Bagwell. Batting seventh, the catcher, from the New York Mets, Mike Piazza. Batting eighth, playing left field, from the Milwaukee Brewers, Jeremy Burnett. Batting ninth, playing second base, from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Jay Bell. And tonight's starting pitcher, warming up in the bullpen, from the Philadelphia Phillies, Curt Schilling. And now, the manager and starting lineups for the American League. From the New York Yankees, manager Joe Torre. And now tonight's starting lineup. Batting first, playing left field, from the Cleveland Indians, Kenny Lofton. Batting second, playing shortstop, from the Boston Red Sox, Nomar Garcia-Parra. Batting third, playing center field, an all-century player from the Seattle Mariners, Ken Griffey Jr. Batting fourth, playing right field, from the Cleveland Indians, Manny Ramirez. Batting fifth, playing first base, from the Cleveland Indians, Jim Thome. Batting sixth, playing third base, an all-century player from the Baltimore Orioles, Cal Ripken. Batting seventh, the designated hitter from the Texas Rangers, Rafael Palmeiro. Batting eighth, the catcher from the Texas Rangers, Ivan Rodriguez. Batting ninth, playing second base, from the Cleveland Indians, Roberto Alomar. And pitching for the American League, warming up in the bullpen, from the Boston Red Sox, Pedro Martinez.
Present and past stars out tonight in Boston will return to Fenway Park with the national anthem and the reintroduction to this Fenway crowd of one of the best ever to play this game, Ted Williams. He throws out the first pitch tonight. Back to Boston after these messages.
Please continue standing for the singing of our national anthem. To honor America, please welcome Grammy award-winning epic recording artist, a native of Dorchester, Massachusetts, Donna Summer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air. Through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And
Ladies and gentlemen, he wore the Red Sox uniform for 22 years. He wore the uniform of the United States Marines for 4.5 more. He owned left field at this very ballpark. He was the last man to hit 400 in a season, and he did it 58 years ago. He hit 521 home runs, including one on his last at-bat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest hitter that ever lived, number 9, Hall of Famer, baseball legend, Ted Williams.
Well, you know what I told Boxy that? I told Mattingly that.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all the players on the field, it's requested, please, that the all-century players
I'm glad I didn't have to hit it.
head for the canvas alley so that they can take your seats.
The legends of this game,
And we ask that the players
today's stars, crowding around one of the greatest to ever play the game of baseball and one of the greatest to ever serve his country. We try as hard as we can and hope that this moment translates on television. The feelings that we're getting here at Fenway Park at this 70th Midsummer Classic. Just a moment, Ted Williams
My man right here. You're going to be everybody.
will throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch.
I'm sorry I missed your party,
Joe,
but
Bob,
I
do you
got-
find yourself asking, can't this go on forever, to nobody in particular?
I personally hope it does, because I don't know if I can speak. What a moment.
Watch somebody like Mike Piazza, who Ted Williams told at a very young age when he was 16, when he was introduced to him, that you will be a major leaguer after seeing his swing. Ted Williams was right, and here tonight, Mike Piazza on hand to help celebrate one of the game's greatest players of all time. He is a star among stars, and on a night like this, that's saying a lot.
Whacking Mark McGuire on the left shoulder.
Now for the first pitch. Ted Williams is the pitcher. Carlton Fisk is the catcher.
Ted Williams will throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch. He will throw it to Carlton Fisk.
I know I saw
Kyle Yastrzemski on hand as well. A celebration here tonight in Boston. With help from Tony Gwynn.
Where is he? He's right there. Oh, all right.
Congratulations to Ted Williams. Congratulations to the game of baseball. Here tonight, a wonderful July night in Boston. Cool evening, fall-like atmosphere, and a moment that none of us will probably ever forget. We'll come back with the first pitch. The best the American League has to offer against the best the National League has to offer in a moment. At Fenway Park, hometown starter Pedro Martinez getting ready to go in the shadow of the Green Monster. Baseball after this. What a perfect way to wind down this millennium with an all-star game here at Fenway Park. Built in 1912. First pitch, a blazing fastball that misses up and away from hometown starter Pedro Martinez, a 15-game winner, the only 15-game winner in the major leagues to this point. 1 ball, no strikes on Barry Larkin. Larkin involved in his 10th all-star game, and he's going to have to crank it up another notch to catch up with that fastball from Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The changeup like that.
On 2-1, Larkin took it over the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 90s on that fastball, and you look at the 15-game winner with that league-leading ERA of 2.10. 3 complete games for Pedro Martinez. Larkin way late, still 2-2.
You see the scouting report on Pedro Martinez. Great movement on the fastball. We've seen that already. Works both sides of the plate. We've seen the great changeup with the arm action. He also has a curveball. I mean, this is not fair. A guy with 3 top shelf pitches at his disposal.
That'll get out of play to keep it 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, the 2-2 to Larkin leading off. And spoiling a nasty pitch to stay up there. And Barry Larkin, that's still one of the game's best. Got him with a changeup and a good start for Pedro Martinez in the American League. Once again, the National League starting lineup sponsored by Budweiser. Here tonight, Barry Larkin, you know that. Larry Walker bats second and right. Sammy Sosa hits third and center. Mark McGuire cleans up at first base with Matt Williams at third. The DH, Jeff Bagwell. Mike Piazza catching. Jeremy Burnett's first all-star game for the left fielder of the Milwaukee Brewers, and Jay Bell will bat ninth at second base. And we take a look at the defense for the American League.
Kenny Lofton in left field. Ken Griffey Jr., the center fielder. Manny Ramirez in right. Cal Ripken Jr. at third. Nomar Garciaparra at shortstop, the local favorite. Roberto Alomar at second. Jim Thome and Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate. Pretty good ball club.
Not too bad.
No.
Larry Walker takes a strike from Pedro Martinez. 1 out, nobody on the first inning, and that's strike 2 on Larry Walker. Walker, the MVP in the National League in 1997, last year's batting champion in the National League. 32-year-old outfield average in the major leagues at this point. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In charge of selecting the reserves and the pitchers for this. Goodbye, Larry Walker. See you later. Pretty good start for Pedro Martinez. This is what he dreamt about last night when he went to bed.
First the fastball on the outside corner to Barry Larkin, and now a fastball, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that slices the outside corner to Larry Walker.
P button on your television. How proud they must be right now in the Dominican Republic. 2 of their favorite sons hooking up here in the All-Star game. Sammy Sosa leading the major leagues with 32 home runs. He hit 66 a year ago. Taking on Pedro Martinez. Leaning back from strike 1. 96-mile-per-hour fastball missing to Sosa. Of course, hit 70. The 2-1. And Pedro Martinez is in position to strike out the side. Pedro Martinez used to pitch for the Montreal Expos. How many National League hitters are thinking right now, boy, I'm glad he's gone. Kurt Schilling is on the mound for the National League. Another look at the American League starting lineup sponsored by Budweiser. The American League leads it off with Kenny Lofton in left field. Nomar Garciaparra, the shortstop here in Boston. Then Ken Griffey Jr. hits third. Manny Ramirez has 96 RBIs. He cleans up in right with Jim Thome at first. Cal Ripken Jr. at third. The DH is Rafael Palmeiro. First start for him. Ivan Rodriguez catching, and Roberto Alomar is at second base batting ninth. To look at the National League defense.
Jeremy Burnitz in left field. Sammy Sosa playing center in this All-Star game. Larry Walker in right. Matt Williams, Barry Larkin, Jay Bell, Mark McGuire around the infield. Curt Schilling pitching. And Mike Piazza behind the plate.
Figure away to retire Kenny Lofton to start the bottom of the first, and that's not a bad start. A blazing fastball for strike one. .95 miles per hour from Schilling, and this is one of the National League's best right-handers.
Curt Schilling was 7 complete games in the first half of the season after completing 15 ball games last year. He is the definition of a workhorse.
First start on 0-2. Lofton a late swing. And we look at the scouting report for Curt Schilling.
Over 300 strikeouts the last 2 years. That's each year. Premier power guy, heavy fastball, a hard cutter, similar to a slider. Still goes to late breaking splitter with 2 strikes like that.
2 strikes. First ball in play. McGuire feeds Schilling. A race to the bag, and Schilling didn't win. Lofton with that great speed is on with an infield single.
That's the advantage of the American League over the National League, the speed of the American League, and look for them to use that speed once they get on. But Kenny Lofton beating Schilling to the bus,
who don't play together all year long. That's a routine play for a pitcher and a first.
30,000 votes. They tabulated the internet votes as he goes up there ripping. Very well, and was happy. At least this is what he said, that Garciaparra ended up the starter here in his home ballpark, and I think he means it. Lofton is running, and Garciaparra hits it into deep right. Walker back to get it. Nice running catch, and back to first is Lofton, 1 away. For a stadium, 1 on, 1 out. Ken Griffey Jr. stands in. He'll take a shot at that right field side or try to go the opposite way into left, a much shorter poke, but you have to get under it. Lofton's running again, and Griffey fouls it away.
Ken Griffey Jr. 476 all-time all-star batting average. You see where he ranks.
He's just getting started. 1 on, 1 out, and Griffey fouls it back here, strike 2.
And Joe, you talked about lift power. Lift, very, very important.
Rather close over at first. That misses up. 1 on, 1 out. Griffey out in front, jerks it foul. With that heavy sea air. Over the outside corner, Griffey is gone. And it's 1 on, 2 out as Griffey is caught looking.
Look at those pictures and see Manny Ramirez with an Oakland A's cap. I got to believe Art Howe's mouth is watering somewhere right now.
1 on, 2 out, and a strike from Schilling, hitting 96 on the rate. Kenny Lofton at first with 2 out, and another check on it. Gonzalez 101 a year ago. Ramirez gets out of the way of a pitch just inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Ramirez takes ball 2.
But Pudge has stopped that.
There goes Lofton again. The throw by Piazza, too late. Stolen base for Kenny Lofton. When they introduced the legends, he would have never done this.
And Jay Bell, the second baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks, tries to drop a knee on Kenny Lofton. Very close there. You'll watch him come down with the left knee trying to block second base, much like a catcher blocking the plate. Lofton on the bag there. And called safe at second base.
Setting a runner at second, 2 out. He takes a borderline pitch for a strike. From catcher Cam. The mask of Mike Piazza reaching up to get that pitch to Ramirez and a 2-out walk. Comes talking to Bruce Bochy, and here is Jim Thome.
Jim Thome.
2 out.
Park on the road.
Dangerous at bat for Schilling here. Thome, a good high fastball hitter.
Into center field, a base hit. That'll bring Lofton to the plate. The American League is out in front as the Cleveland Indians combine for a first-inning run here at Fenway.
Well, Thome is not your traditional sweet swinging left-hander. You can see from that stroke right there. He just opens up and lifts and tries to murder the ball.
Cal Ripken Jr. For Cal, his 17th All-Star game as he lines a base hit into right field. Here comes Ramirez. It's kicked in right by Walker. It's 2-0 American League.
That figures to be the plan of attack for both offenses in this ball game. Attack these pitchers early in the count. Don't let them get to those devastating out pitches. In Schilling's case, the split finger. In Martinez's case, the changeup.
The designated hitter.
And here's Rafael Palmeiro, who gets a chance to start in the All-Star game for the first time. He's been one of the most consistent hitters baseball has had during the decade of the 90s. Undergoing back surgery for a bulging disc. He needed a DH, and who better to call on? Ball one strike from Schilling. Reaching for it, McGuire makes the play, and the easy put out at first, but damage is done. 2 runs for the American League. Mark McGuire will lead off in the second for the National League. Back to work, Pedro Martinez. By Tomey and Ripken, and Mark McGuire steps in. Single season home run king takes a breaking ball low and away for ball one. 28 home runs at this year's break. 37 at this point. Little flinch there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Time ever that the first 3 hitters have gone down on strikes to open an All-Star game.
4 in a row. Works to Matt Williams. It won't happen. The ground ball to second, bobbled by Alomar, and the throw too late. Should be an error for Roberto Alomar. 3 all season, but that was a typical and an easy chance for Alomar. It's an error.
Looked like it hit him on the heel of the glove, the hardest part of the glove, and ricocheted up into his midsection, stayed right in front of him. But Matt Williams, hustling down the line as he does on a daily basis, was able to beat it out.
Baseman as this game has. 1 on, 1 out. And Bagwell looks back at Jim Evans and says, really? Strike 1.
31st for Larry Anderson.
He flinches on a strike. That's strike 2. Set up at a ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Here in the second. Throw down to first, and Williams just gets back. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Bagwell. Runner goes, swing and a miss, struck him out, throw down. Williams is gone, strike him out, throw him out, double play. And Martinez has faced the minimum through 2. After an inning and a half, 2-0 American League.
As he plays so many games, he had 153 games 3 years ago.
In the bottom of the second with Roberto Alomar and Kenny Lofton to follow.
For a catcher in the Texas Heat 2 years ago and 145 last year. Can't keep him out of the lineup.
Jay Bell to his right takes care of Ivan Rodriguez, 1 away.
And then let the rest happen on the field. I'm not really concerned about that I have the chances in my home field, and believe me, I don't really think about it. I mean, that'll put more pressure on myself, and I'm
in front of the hometown fans. A couple pitches you threw up there, upwards of 98 miles an hour.
And then go get the next start.
All right, Pedro, congratulations. Good luck in the second half. Let's go back to you guys up in the booth.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Roberto Alomar. Denny McLain, the last to do it in 1968, won 31 games with Detroit as Kenny Lofton stands in. He singled, stolen a base, and scored a run. Big swing by Lofton. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike. McGuire couldn't get it to Schilling. Maybe better put, Schilling couldn't get it to first base in time to get Lofton. The National League. He makes his first start here tonight. And there's Sammy Sosa.
Does not have a regular center fielder voted in.
Lofton strikes out, back-to-back strikeouts in the second inning for Schilling. He is likely finished. Back to Boston after this and a word from your local Fox station.
And if Garciaparra should happen to reach, pretty good chance we'll see Jeter come on as a pinch runner.
Right.
Take a look at the second pitcher of the night for the American League from the New York Yankees, and still one of the very few big game pitchers left in the game. It's right-hander David Cone.
And 3/4, dropped down almost a sidearm at times.
New York, New York, Yankees and Mets. Mike Piazza leads off and takes a strike. Action between the Mets and the Yankees. He's out in front and lines that one foul down the left field line. 0-2 the count. And there's another drop down breaking ball. It's still 0-2. out the invitation for the All-Star game, and it has Fenway Park at the top of it. Going to get a lot of response. His son, as Piazza strikes out, and it's been 6 strikeouts for the American League side. Pedro Martinez struck out 5. There's starters that come after you with different looks. Here's Jeremy Burnett. League in the final round of the home run derby here last night. On a big power display, and he takes a strike over the inside corner. Big swing. 0-2. Hit 38 home runs last year. He fouls that one off to the left.
You get in this ballpark in this game.
5-time All-Star is David Cone. He misses outside. Burnett set up for another strikeout, and he was nearly rung up over the outside corner. 2-2. From catcher Cam. On 2-2, Burnett lines it down the right field line, but he pulled it foul. 7-8 years. Has to look at Jeremy Burnett as one who got away. As he lines one into right field, a base hit. Down toward the corner, it should be a double. Dug out of that corner by Ramirez, and the National League has its first hit. It's Jeremy Burnett and a double here in the 3rd inning. Longtime shortstop, first chance at second base, and he has really performed well.
He's done an outstanding job making the transition across the middle infield. A career high in home runs with 24 already on the first half of the season.
Trying to get the National League on the board here in the 3rd inning. And his teammate Randy Johnson is ready to go out in the National League bullpen. Strike on Bell. Cone falls behind. A little late with that swing. 91 miles per hour from Cone. 2-2. Back here in the booth with us. He remembers the name. As Bell takes strike 3 over the outside corner. That's 7 American League strikeouts of National League hitters. And 2 out here in the
Cone throwing the breaking ball on both corners. He does the same thing with that tailing fastball. Starts just off the outside corner. From that drop down motion, tails back. You can see Rodriguez's glove.
Back to the top of the order, and Barry Larkin, who takes a strike over that outside corner. One of the best defensive shortstops ever, and there's one of the best defensive catchers in the game making a good play on a ball in the dirt.
And watch Rodriguez like a hockey goalie. Slaps it down, keeps it in front.
Back to Texas. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up the middle. Off Cone's glove and into center. In to score Burnett. The lead has been cut in half on a 2-out RBI single by Barry Larkin.
If you do not get it outside enough,
the right fielder,
major league hitters hammer it. That's what Barry Larkin did. That was on the outside part of the plate, not on the outside corner, and Larkin takes advantage, driving in the first National League run.
Part of Nomar Garciaparra prevented him from getting to that ball.
How about that play by Cone? He just took a hit away from Larry Walker. A strained left groin for Nomar Garciaparra. In there defensively, that ball went past him into center, and it's a 2-1 American League lead. Against just a tough luck left-hander.
Yeah, tough luck lefty is absolutely right. Randy Johnson has been about as good as a pitcher can be his last 4 starts, and has absolutely nothing to show for it. He's had a no-hitter, a 1-hitter, and 2 2-hitters thrown against him, while his team has racked up a total of 5 base hits for him. Opponent's batting average, ERA.
Garciaparra, first pitch swinging, pops it into right center. Sammy Sosa wants it. 1 pitch, 1 out. His longtime teammate, Ken Griffey Jr., here in the 3rd inning, and you have to wonder every time you see Randy Johnson in an All-Star game.
Larry Walker turned around and hit right-handed 2 years ago.
Playing it straight. Strike 1.
Don Kruk and Larry Walker. How do you go up there and swing at the first pitch?
Johnson misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Edge of that glove. That's not the prettiest sight coming at you when you stand at the plate. 97 miles per hour. On 2-1. Griffey chops it off the plate for McGuire. Tricky little hop. 2 out. So no fun. No hijinks. No craziness. No tomfoolery.
And it batters.
Just hands the ball to the catcher. Buzz one over the head of a former friend. The 0-1. 98. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hitting triple digits in the 9th inning. We've seen that four-seam fastball in the upper 90s tonight. Killer slider with very late break.
There goes an all-star game bat, and it stays within the field of play, so thankfully nobody hit with that. Across the way in the first base coach's box. Ramirez, high heat and good night, 99 miles per hour from the big unit. We go to the fourth inning in Boston, 2-1 American League. B.J. Surhoff of the Orioles takes over in left field. Kenny Lofton ends up in center. Another change in the outfield, but right now, what you talked about, Tim, Derek Jeter will take over at short for Garciaparra.
Joe was, oh, that's a great moment right there.
Joe Torre. Sean Green is the new right fielder for the American League. We've got an outfield of Surhoff in left, Lofton in center, Sean Green in right, Jeter now at short. Those are the changes. Sosa stands in, a strikeout victim his first time up. First pitch swinging, pops it up to the right side for Tomey. A little stagger at the end, but Tomey puts it away. This had to have been 500-foot home runs. There are a lot of people around here wondering who calculated those distances.
Well, he hit one off the top of the light tower in left field.
Wire, 1 ball, 1 strike. Day in St. Louis, it doesn't get old. And he finally got a chance to display that power. Bat. Ooh. That just missed. The count 2-2 on McGuire.
You mentioned Pedro Martinez. Mark McGuire is down to 1 bat to use in the All-Star game.
Bats. In case he needs another. Mark McGuire will take a walk with 1 out. That's the first walk handed out. Mac on at first with 1 out. Big Matt is at the plate, strike 1.
Home run number 62 by McGuire last year, the shortest home run that he hit all year.
Matt Williams, who has hit at least 20 home runs every season during the 90s. Talks about the season he was putting together in 1994 when the strike hit. Hit 43 home runs in just 112 games. Good swing, but strike 2. A 1-2 pitch. Williams a late swing, and Cone rings him up for his 3rd strikeout.
Cone.
Jeff Bagwell.
Looked like the splitter, wasn't it?
I believe that tumbling rotation.
I'm sure at some point, Bob, some hitting coach. First, that's McGuire with 2 out, and here's Bagwell. Takes the ball high. Can't hit like that. Spread out at the plate. Got that severe uppercut swing.
A little crouch of his own, not to this extreme.
2 balls and a strike. And a strike over the outside corner, and Bagwell's thinking that's 2 this.
That high slider.
Bagwell lines one into right field. That's a hit. Sean Green will get it back in. It's 2 on, 2 out. Now the tying run is in scoring position for the National League here in the 4th inning. Only the 3rd hit of the night for the National League. Right, here is Piazza, and there's a base hit into right. Now what do? Do you try to score McGuire? They will hold him at 3rd, and the bases are loaded with 2 out. A walk and 2 singles here in the 4th inning.
Wow, it's Green with too strong an arm.
And Green did make a good throw right through the upright arms of the cutoff man, Jim Tomey. It was right on line for Pudge Rodriguez at home plate.
Griffin and puffing over at 3rd base, and he just will not score on a ball hit that hard to a guy who can throw. Bases are loaded with 2 out to Jeremy Burnitz, and he's jammed and grounds 1 to first. Picked up by Tomey, and the threat is over. A walk, 2 singles, 3 left, 4 on the night for the National League. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. David Cone. Good work in 2 frames, 2-1 American League. Martinez, as he exited, left this one after 2 shutout frames. Luis Gonzalez is now in the game in left field. That moves Jeremy Burnitz from left into right. And we have a new pitcher, right-hander, Kent Bottenfield, a 14-game winner.
One of the great stories, along with Paul Bird, 2 right-handers for the National League. Bottenfield started and won against the Giants on Sunday evening. Then the red eye to Boston has got to be dog tired.
Jim Thome leads it off. Bottenfield on 0-1. This is inside. I liked Ken's quote. The lineups and the reserves. People will be saying, who the heck is this guy? The 2-1 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Thome. Put together here in 1999. Bottenfield misses. Strikeout. And now Bottenfield keeps it full on Thome.
The right-hander Jose Lima beginning to warm up for the National League club. Houston has
3 balls, 2 strikes. Thome leads it off and took ball 4 low. Let's take you down to Steve Lyons. Steve.
I really appreciate it. I thank them every day, and you know what? I can't wait to come back out on Thursday.
I'm here tonight, and Ted Williams throwing out the first pitch. You hopped up on his golf cart, had a few around the country, got a chance to see how you play the game. It was an outstanding experience tonight for you.
In Atlanta for Boston. Ripken, who already has a hit, fouls that one out of play. The count 0-2. Iron Man Cal Ripken Jr. at the plate, leans away from ball 1.
There's consecutive game streak, and it's worth reiterating.
1982. It finished last September. It's back and out of play, and the count still a ball and 2 strikes. Really in the Oriole organization. Went on to the disabled list. First time he had ever done that. He's on the DL from mid-April to mid-May. Had the last laugh on those critics as he taps it foul. Bottenfield on 1-2, and that caught Ripken. So a walk and a hit batsman. 2 on, nobody out. And Ripken down to first. Physical pain here. Emotional pain earlier inning as he faces Palmeiro. Hard hit under McGuire's glove into right. They will bring Thome to the plate. The throw by the right fielder to third is too late. Ripken goes first to third. Burnitz couldn't get him. And the American League leads 3-1. A walk, a hit batsman, and now a 6th inning for Bottenfield.
Mark McGuire actually dives over the ball. Had the glove been on the ground, he at least prevents it from going through to the outfield, but the ball was scalded. Hit so hard.
to the various teams, and Bottenfield is no doubt the ace of that Cardinal staff, but up to this point in the ballgame.
Right. Palmeiro, they don't hold against him, and he was ready to swipe second. First and third, nobody out. Rodriguez hammers after another, strike 2. Missing up and away with ball 1. It's in his work finished for the night. That stays up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Scott Williamson, the hard-throwing rookie from the Cincinnati Reds, getting ready. 2-2. And a good fastball from Bottenfield. Ivan Rodriguez is gone, 1 away.
Won $1 million in the 6th inning on Sunday.
Captain Diamondback provided that information. There's with 1 out. The strike we're giving away. Houses or
anything.
The 0-1 pitch. Hard hit through Matt Williams. Into left field. In to score is Ripken. And it's now a 4-1 American League lead.
That ball stayed down on Matt Williams. Watch Matt go to his right, try to backhand the ball. The ball hugged the ground. That's a ball Matt Williams usually sucks up.
And that particular ball coming off the bat of a left-hander has a little English on it and was tailing away from Matt Williams.
Hold an error by Matt Williams. They do not give an RBI to Roberto Alomar.
Still has the softest hands of any third baseman this side of Mike Schmidt.
He gets a chance on a pop-up off the bat of Lofton. 2 down.
Mike Schmidt probably saying to himself, how can they give Matt Williams an error on that ball? That ball's got to be a hit.
Watch Derek Jeter now pretty much on an everyday basis. You and I and Bob have been so impressed with him the past couple of years. What do you think of him now? For Derek Jeter, number 2 from the Yankees, and he takes a ball up and away.
Rarely do the Yankees play a game where Derek Jeter does not have a hand in doing something big.
Rookie of the Year back in 1996 and a part of that World Championship for the New York Yankees. 2 on, 2 out. Jeter a little out in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jeter strikes out, so Bottenfield ended up getting into and then out of trouble with only 2 runs crossing the plate.
Looked like Derek Jeter giving a little Nomar Garcia-Power right there before his at-bat.
Here in this 70th All-Star game, Tony Fernandez, third tour of duty with the Toronto Blue Jays, never better at the plate. And here in 1999 takes over for Ripken, and on the mound, taking over for David Cohn, is the right-hander Mike Messina. Here's as Jay Bell stands in. You can see Ivan Rodriguez have to go out and talk to each pitcher who comes into the game, and you got to figure out what this guy wants to do.
Even had an opportunity to warm the guy up in the bullpen. You're just out there flying blind right now. You've got an idea of what Mike Messina throws.
1 ball, no strikes. Bell takes a strike, 1-1, but an RBI as it should be. Bell takes a pitch low. 2 balls and a strike. Now 3-1 from Messina. That misses, a leadoff walk, so Messina comes into the game, issues a walk to Bell, and a couple of toms. Here's Tom Brenneman.
I think I see more 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 counts than I've ever seen before. It's different now than it was before, and I look at it and I don't remember it being that way. Yourself behind the 8 ball when you do that.
We thank you for taking the time to be with us, and even Hall of Famers take the time to get a few autographs with Ted Williams before the game.
Few, if any, pitchers got or get the leg drive. 1 on with nobody out. Larkin takes a ball, 1-2.
Dimmick in baseball.
Possible double play ball. Alomar flips to Jeter. To first, too late. Larkin is on. The ball took a tricky hop, and Alomar tried to stay with it.
On that ball that was hit hard, he loses his chance for the double play. Derek Jeter with a strong throw, but because the hop took him back.
It was a study in perseverance. A 360 hitter. And a ball 0 away from Messina.
Beats the throw.
And once again, that's another defensive play.
In his 4th organization. That is fair down the left field line into the corner. Larkin will head to third. Dug out by Surhoff. It's a double. 2nd and 3rd. 1 out here in the 5th inning for the National League. Gonzalez is something. He had a 30-game hitting streak this season. Tying run at the plate. Sosa up. McGuire on deck.
Sammy Sosa hit his first career home run right here at Fenway.
Only 1 out. And here's Sammy Sosa. 5th inning. Pretty good heat. Sosa couldn't catch up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sosa. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and those are 2 very good fastballs from Mike Messina. Now the 1-2. Over the outside corner, 2 gone. Sosa 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, and it's up to McGuire. To Mark McGuire. Guess we'll find out who really is the man in this situation. Sosa kept saying that last year. McGuire swings through one. 93, 93, 93 from Messina. Till he hit 5. McGuire in the final weekend. Messina's just blowing it past him. Strike 2. Tying run at the plate. Struck him out. That'll go on the resume. Mike Messina comes in. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Strikes out Sosa. Strikes out McGuire. Still 4-1 American League. Guys out there, but they've changed 1,000 times, and Brian Jordan is now in the game in center field. Sammy Sosa's gone. Vladimir Guerrero, one of the best young players on display here tonight, is out in right field. But that's not all. Jeff Kent takes over at second base from the Giants, takes over for Jay Bell. Sean Casey, good young player he is, at first base for Mark McGuire. And Mike Lieberthal is now catching. In place of Mike Piazza as Jose Lima takes over for Kent Bottenfield.
23 walks on the year.
Surhoff, his first all-star swing, and he grounds to first for Sean Casey. 1 pitch, 1 out.
In those few moments?
Yeah, he asked me, he wanted to ask me something. If I ever foul a ball back, do I ever smell burnt wood?
That great all-star, all-time Max coming first.
Well, you know, the greatest thing about that is he was out there, he just wanted to he's just an icon here in Boston, all over baseball, so it was just great to be there. So you know, it's something comes out of his mouth, you take it to your heart.
See, I have before, catching behind the plate when a guy fouls one straight back to the backstop.
Sean Green bounces one up the middle off Lima's glove. Kent tries like Kent, but it's an infield hit for Sean Green. Sean Green, one of the sweetest swings in the game. A guy who will be a free agent after next year. and one of the best young players that's in this game tonight.
Broke the left wrist, the bone in the left wrist. Ooh, boy, speaking of broken bats, wow.
Bat just shattering. And a young man just behind the American League dugout, able to knock it down and avoid serious injury.
Tommy actually hit that ball off the very end of the bat, and so much torque and power bringing that bat through the strike zone that when he hit it off the end, the bat just shattered in the middle.
1-on-1 out here, and Jim Tomey pops it into right field. Well hit. Guerrero back at the wall to make the catch. 380 feet away. And then shows off that arm and nearly doubled Sean Green off at first. As you watch Guerrero go back.
Couple of checks to find himself on the wall, is able to come in a step
above 400 for the better part of the first half, leading the American League, hitting .370. 1 on, 2 out, and Tony Fernandez takes a strike.
Winds up and unleashes that throw back to the infield.
Tony Fernandez. Don Zimmer may have cracked up Don Zimmer. Ground ball to the right of Jeff Kent. There's a guy who's driven in 120 or more runs in each of the last 2 years. He's all bat, right? How about this play to his right to take a hit away? Inning over. Go to the 6th. American League up by 3. A couple more changes for the American League. Bernie Williams, who very nearly became a Boston Red Sox outfielder after he became a free agent at the end of last year. He opted to re-sign with the Yankees. The Red Sox made a push for him. New catcher is Brad Ausmus, who grew up following the Boston Red Sox. Cheshire, Connecticut. He's behind the plate. What a thrill for him. On the mound is a left-hander from the Kansas City Royals, Jose Rosado, right side.
Guys, the monster's lonely. We've played 5 innings, nothing over the monster.
See Rosado in the 6th inning.
Will come to life against the lefty.
Good pitch over the inside corner. Williams jumps back from ball 1. 2 strikes on Matt Williams. Through the left side, leadoff base hit. Matt Williams has his first hit. Reached on an error back in the 2nd, so he's on base for the 2nd time tonight. That's the way the 6th inning.
For the first time. He was even offered the general manager's job.
Heck, as a player manager. Now a manager for George Steinbrenner. The prostate cancer, which hit Joe Torre at the start of this year. Joe Torre came back. The 0-2. A little high, a ball and 2 strikes. Bagwell fouls it back, still 1-2. It up to 37 feet high. Tom Yawkey had purchased the team. 23-foot netting above it. Ausmus keeps it at the plate. It's from 0-2 to 3-2.
Home run derby.
They've been lonely out there tonight, however.
Not even a dent out there, and Bagwell strikes out on a 3-2 pitch from Rosado. Mike Lieberthal, little known catcher, but heck, maybe one of the best all-around catchers. Visited that netting back in 1978.
I think he is the best all-around catcher, and I don't think anybody knows it. 18 home runs, 61 RBIs game. Had a terrific year for those resurging Philadelphia Phillies, who are a good ball club.
Rosado to Lieberthal. Might be a double play ball. Fernandez starts it. Alomar in the middle. And the inning is over. The inning started with a hit by Matt Williams. A strikeout, a double play later. We sail into the bottom of the 6th inning. Midsummer Classic. The 70th 4-1 American League. As Ed Sprague of the Pirates, long time of the Blue Jays, is in at third base for the numbers for Millwood, an 11-game winner, and he has been the most consistent Atlanta Braves starter in the first half of the season. The exception of Smoltz, who's bothered by that bad elbow, starting to get back into a groove. Maddox has won his last 4. Baines batting for Rafael Palmeiro. 1 out of 2 in his first All-Star game start. 2-0 on Baines. Just saying a lot with the likes of Greg Maddox, Tommy Glavine, and John Smoltz.
Smoltz coming off the DL this week.
Baines, the hit machine, gets a base hit into left center field. Jordan gets it back in, a leadoff single. Let's go back down to Tom Brennan.
Every time I see somebody that's older than I am, an older ball player, you kind of tip your hat to them and you speak highly of them.
Thank you for your time.
All right, Tommy, thank you very much. In the Midsummer Classic, as Brad Osmond stands in at the plate.
7 years old. Brought a handmade sign that he made out of beads glued to a piece of cardboard that said, "Yankees stink."
3 balls and a strike. Osmus fouls it back. Tells 2 strikes, 1 on, nobody out, and Osmus keeps it full. The Red Sox have not since 1918. If you have heard of the curse of the Bambino, no Nanette. No more World Championships for the Red Sox since 1918.
One of the greatest World Series ever.
Osmus grounds to Larkin. Force out at second, and they can't turn the double play. Osmus, there it is, runs well for a catcher.
Oh no.
On 1 out.
And then in 1986, the ball going through Bill Buckner's legs. That's the 4th World Series.
Carlton Fisk as Jose Offerman stands in. 1975, with all that body English continued since he was named to the American League squad by Joe Torre and friends. Sox are trying to make up for the loss of Mo Vaughn, who left via free agency. It would have been good odds if you were going to take him. A check swing. Offerman went around, and that's strike 2. 2-2. Back to Millwood, and because he couldn't hang on and make the clean play, the out at first. Down to second is the runner Osmus, 2 out here in the 6th inning.
Boy, Joe Torre has had a lot of seasons to remember. Sure has. Most recently, the
Bernie Williams now is first at bat. He takes a breaking ball from the 0-1 to Bernie Williams. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at second here, 2 out. Bernie Williams takes a good fastball, strike 2. Switch hitter waits. Out in front, got a piece, still 1-2.
Yeah, one time also rumors that perhaps he was headed to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Since the season began, as they got flame-throwing right-hander Matt Mantop. How about the 2-2? Full count on Williams. Backer, the 3-2. Williams a little out in front, struck him out. First strikeout for Millwood, a first-time All-Star. We go to the 7th. Back after this from your local Fox station. New right fielder into the game is Manglio Ordonez. He's a good young player. Here's a veteran, Omar Vizquel, taking over at short. Jose Offerman stays in the game. He's now at second base. Means that Roberto Alomar is finished. Ron Coomer of the Minnesota Twins now at first. Great story. Another story in perseverance. First-time All-Star. And here's a guy who may lead the league in stories of perseverance. Jeff Zimmerman, who was a perfect 8-0 out of the bullpen this season for the Rangers.
Population in Carsland, Alberta. To Great Falls, Montana.
Watching sun fall behind 2-0 on Brian Jordan. An 8-bedroom hotel run by Jeff's mother, Sharon. After getting a master's in business, wanted to try the real world, so to speak. And then he sent out resumes to all 30 major league teams, and the only team that responded 2 seasons ago, the Texas Rangers. And the only reason why they did, they had an extra work visa. They sent it to him. He went to spring training, had a great year, and now here he is 8-0 with the Rangers. He issues a leadoff walk.
His manager in the Northern League, the man by the name of Marty Scott.
Here is Jeff Kent. We've already talked about what this guy does at the plate. On the 1-0 delivery, Jordan takes off at first. Throw by Osmus. In time to get Jordan.
All-Star game, you're not as strapped to that running game not being as prevalent. Very close at second base, and credit the tag by Jose Offerman. A strong throw by Osmus and a good quick tag by Offerman.
Even though he tagged him up near the shoulder.
Now the 3-0 to Kent. Strike 1, 3 balls and a strike. And now Zimmerman walks Kent. So a walk to Jordan. He's out stealing. Followed by a walk to Jeff Kent.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very intimidating presence when you're standing in that batter's box. It's so close. You can see it in your peripheral vision as you're facing the pitcher.
37 feet high, as we said earlier. That shoulder out of there and end up popping a lot of balls up to the right side.
The rookie shortstop from the Marlins at the plate. And Zimmerman still having trouble throwing strikes. His first rookie shortstop to play for the National League as he fouls another one back, and it's 2-2. First hitter. Gonzalez breaks his bat, pops it up to Offerman. 2 out. 1 on, 2 out. American League leading 4-1 here in the 7th inning. Here's Luis Gonzalez. He was 1 for 1 with a double in his only at bat back in the 5th inning.
Deserves to be here.
One of the best at finding a light. Down at the other end of the dugout. Gonzalez fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luis Gonzalez. 1 on, 2 out. High hopper for Offerman. Gets it and throws it away. Makes the bat boys scramble. Over to third is Kent, and it's 1st and 3rd with 2 out here in the 7th. And defense has never been the strong suit of Jose Offerman. The one thing they say about Vladimir Guerrero is you look at his numbers. And the batter's Vladimir Guerrero. First time. Fouls it away, and when I say unhittable, I mean the slider an inch off the dirt.
Own jersey.
Guerrero reaching for a pitch, grounds it up the middle. Vizquel straight out of the glove.
Oh, baby.
Come on, Omar, you can smile. That was a heck of a play to save a run. Omar Vizquel, Mr. Gold Glove, from out of the leather, out of the gold, right to Offerman to end the inning. 2. Alex Gonzalez is now in the game at short. Stayed in to play short, and Barry Larkin is finally finished for the night. Evening here in Boston, and a new pitcher for the National League from the San Diego Padres, right-hander Andy Ashby. Leads it off and takes a strike from Andy Ashby. What a play to end the top of this 7th inning. To his left, well, the 6-time Gold Glove Award winner. He has won 6 consecutive. To reach in with a bare hand, just flipped it out of his glove for the out, and Vizquel pops it down the left field line. That will get out of play. The 0-2 to Vizquel. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Last year's National League pennant winning team.
That's foul again by a close friend of his, Jack McKeon of the Cincinnati Reds. Here's one to a Cincinnati Red, Sean Casey. Randy Johnson of Arizona, and in my estimation, next in line is this guy, Mike Hampton of the Houston Astros, an 11-game winner, 11-3.
Recruited by the University of Alabama and Notre Dame to play football out of high school in 1990. Runs inside on the right-handed hitters. Very competitive pitch.
1 ball, no strikes on B.J. Surhoff. He hits it hard, but right at Kent. Second baseman to his right. Good play. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Maglio Ordonez, a .332 hitter. He already has driven in more runs in 1999 than he has in any other full season in the big league. The White Sox have played good baseball. Jerry Manuel. Into shallow center. Out goes Gonzalez. In comes Jordan, and the 2 collide. Alex Gonzalez comes away with it. The shortstop, Gonzalez, made the catch. Pitching change in the middle of the inning. The American League goes in order. We go to the 8th. National League still shut down, trailing 4-1. 33,871. They're packed in to Fenway. We're in the 8th inning. 4-1 American League, and Roberto Hernandez tied for first.
The Barry Larkin Productions, narrated by Barry Larkin.
Strike 1.
Right on it. Atta boy. That's a knock.
And now back to the real play-by-play announcer, Joe Buck.
Thank you, Keith. A whole 0-2. As you look at Ed Sprague, I can't help but think Jason Kendall, one of the best catchers in the game today.
But every day you see him at the ballpark, he's just happy to be there.
Sprague fouls one back. Horrific ankle injury in Pittsburgh, which prevented him from being a part of this All-Star game. Sprague grounds out. Tony Fernandez took care of it next year.
When I saw that injury, I couldn't help but think of Moises Alou. When Alou
Ball inside from Roberto Hernandez. Driven in. And a broken bat. The ground ball to Vizquel. He knows what to do with that. Sheffield is gone, and the National League goes 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. American League coming to the plate. Bottom of the 8th, and they're up by 3. I think that this game, we'll talk about this in a moment, as Dave Nilsson takes over behind the plate. Bruce Bochy has done it. He has emptied his bench. Calls on his typical closer, Trevor Hoff. Dodger organization finally got a shot at it with the Minnesota Twins, and here he is. He thought they were pulling his leg when they told him he was an all-star headed to Boston. Trading autographed items before today's game. Ron Coomer. Back toward us, and the count quickly 0-2.
Wins his first all-star appearance.
Stewart golfing buddy. And if he enters, both benches will be empty as Coomer fouls it out of play left side, still 1-2. Now there are pitchers left out in the bullpen. Inside corner, and Coomer is gone. Ron Coomer in his only at bat to this point strikes out. Look, he can at times be unhittable. Left-hander Billy Wagner of the Houston Astros with 22 saves. But big legs for Billy Wagner.
If it suddenly became a little breezier here at Fenway, it's understandable.
Pitching to Tony Fernandez. The 0-1. Another 97-mile-per-hour delivery. 0-2 on Tony Fernandez.
But he's not going to mess around with the breaking ball right now.
Too much heat, 99 miles per hour. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Since with the Milwaukee Brewers, they cut him loose. He signs on with Oakland, and here he is with 19 home runs and 56 driven in.
Finds himself here in Boston for the All-Star game.
Too much from Wagner, 98, strike 1. The 0-1. Leah Fox and get well wishes to this is Speg and working his way back. So we're thinking about you. Strike 2 to Jaha. Play the second half of this season as Jaha fouls it back. The Red Sox will start that second half 4 games behind the Yankees. Balls 2 strikes on Jaha. Got him over the inside corner. And the breaking ball from Wagner, his first of the inning. 3 strikeouts for the National League pitchers, Hoffman and Wagner. To the ninth. Fitting then we show the Green Monster as we move to the 9th inning. 4-1, the American League leading. Nary it. Dave Nilsson will lead it off against the new pitcher.
We have a case of the butterflies, have a little trouble finding the strike zone, fall behind some hitters, and at that point perhaps the offense would take over the ball game, but it has just not happened. The pitchers have been on top of their game throughout this ball game.
It's a 4-1 game here in the 9th inning. And a fastball misses up. Third. The 1-1 to Nilsson. Strike 2. Is Troy Percival, the flame-throwing right-hander of the Angels, gets loose out in the American League bullpen. 4-1. The AL out in front. Nilsson, after a high fastball, still 1-2. Little high.
By the lead.
Nilsson keeps it 2-2. Canada. Nilsson is from Australia as he pops it foul down the left side. That'll get out of play. Pretty good at bat here for Dave, and the count's still 2-2. Straightens up, ball 3. MVP of the World Series in '96 for the Yankees. And he has a tendency, like some very good closers in the 9th inning, if it's a 3-run game, he'll give up 2.
Season while pitching for the Yankees.
Nilsson pops another one foul. That will get back and out of play. Australia in the upcoming Olympics. Nilsson strikes out, and that's the way we start the 9th inning. We will have the presentation of the MVP award after this game as Jordan takes ball 1. The game dominated by pitching to this point. How can you look past Pedro Martinez?
He pretty much set the tone for this entire ball game.
Here in this All-Star game as Jordan takes a strike, and now he's set up at 1-2. 22 strikeouts combined.
Night.
Jordan trying to avoid becoming the 13th, which would set a new record.
Out of here all over the place.
Jordan lines a base hit into right field, and the National League won't go quietly here in the 9th. Jordan has walked. He now has his first All-Star game hit. Already had Roberto Hernandez. He worked a perfect 8th. Kent takes a strike. Paul Bird along with Williamson of Cincinnati. Potential double play ball. Back to the mound to second and on to first to end this 70th Midsummer Classic. 4-1. The American League wins it on a dangerous shattered bat and a ground ball back to Wetland. Well, that's the way this one ends, with a loud double play. Hit into by Kent. We'll come back to Fenway Park here in Boston. Our thoughts as we wrap up the 70th Midsummer Classic. A double play ball ends it. The American League wins it 4-1. Back in a moment.